And we are live. How's it going, everyone? Here with a very special guest, Mac D. A lot of people probably know you from the Monkey DAO, and we won't keep the introduction too long. Amazing to have you on. It's been great connecting at events, but it'd just be overview. We're obviously here for Mintis, so great to hear about what it is that you're building.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me today. Mintus, we are a social platform, essentially connecting everyone here on Web3 through our Discord, our app, our real life events that we've been planning, especially one coming up couple days here in Austin, Texas. We really believe in really leading with your Web3 identity to really use that to facilitate genuine connections. And we want to be the project to connect the people using our shoot.
No worries. Just to jump in here, like I want to say today we've had a cool theme where we've almost went away from the metaverse in the sense where it's bringing things to real life. And I think there's so much value in that. I just started going around to events, Mountain Down last month, where we met, ended up joining the Monkey Down, now here. So having a way to foster this, but do it in a professional, secure, and still fun manner, I think there's a lot to unwrap there. I don't know if you caught your train of thoughts again, but
yeah.
I would be curious to just even hear about like how this all started. It obviously started with events, but like when was the thought for the idea, how moving forward? Yeah.
Yeah, it actually started in Lisbon at Breakpoint. So it was actually a couple of months ago when we all got together for a Monkey DAO luncheon. And it was literally me and a couple of the women from Queens of Monkey DAO sitting down talking about, what would it be like to have someone in your life that are a part of Monkey DAO or part of the other projects that you're absolutely bullish about, and to actually be with that person. So it did start off as an idea to essentially to date, to connect, to find and love interests within Web3. And now it really has grown into this platform that we want to do, which is what I was trying to explain earlier. This real life platform plus the app we're building plus what we're doing on Discord to really facilitate that connection, but for everyone to feel comfortable and to feel safe to be able to do this too as well.
Yeah. And for myself coming to these events, having that connection is amazing. I think something I found myself was work was so much easier in these environments when I am just throwing out just normal lingo in real life. Like if I'm talking about things just generally, I will be like, oh, I got rugged. And some of my friends that are very close to know what it is, but it's, you throw that out here and everyone just like knows it. It's funny. They laugh. And I think a big thing is it goes deeper than that, where when I'm working, I feel like it's almost easier to stay focused in a flow state. Like my mind is always engaged in crypto, but I can take breaks while still being engaged. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just one of the powerful things that I've figured out through all of this. And that's what Mintis is looking to foster, just a part of it. I think something that outlines it a bit better is just like the different sectors or verticals that you guys have outlined. So there's like Mintis Social, Mintis Live. I'm missing one, but it would be great to hear just a little bit about each of those.
Yeah, I will start with Mintis Love.
Awesome, the one I missed.
Which is, like I said, it's essentially how it all got started. And it's something that we're very hopeful on. We always joke about how it would be like to go to the first Mintis wedding and to facilitate that connection. And it's where the idea started back in Lisbon. It would be really nice to just find a partner in life that understands what you're going. And I do know a lot of people that are dating people that are not within Web3 and they're making it work. I think within the conversation we did have back in Lisbon, it would just make things a lot easier when you don't have to kind of be like, hey, honey, I'm on Discord 8 hours today. And they just absolutely don't understand why, right?
Yeah.
And then the Mintis Social really came from just talking to the women we were whitelisting and just trying to figure out what is it that we can do better, within this ecosystem to make the women feel a little bit more comfortable, a little more secure? Because to date as a woman in real life, it's a really little bit iffy, but you add the Web3 aspect to it where we are holding valuable NFTs and you hear about the rugs and scams. It's like, how do we go from there? So the Myth is Social actually came up with, the women are just like, you know what? Yeah, it would be really cool to date, but we kind of want to make friends with other women too. And they're just like, you would be really surprised how many people that we meet through like Twitter or through Discord that pretend they're women, but they're actually not. And I'm hearing this from the men too. It's not just like a woman thing. No one wants to be catfished.
Yeah.
There's a whole show about it for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So I think the Myth is Social, not only, I think it's important to facilitate that friendship for anyone who's building within this ecosystem. I think it would be really nice to have a place too for them to go find maybe their next artist, their next dev or community manager, whatever it is that they're looking for that they're missing. And last part, Mentos Live, is the part I'm actually really excited about.
Yeah.
This is the part where we've been talking about when you talk to someone face to face and you're able to like read their body language or give them a hug. I think it does take that connection to another level. It actually makes it a little bit more genuine, instead of talking to somebody on Discord or Twitter. And I always say that it's one thing to type or read LFG, but it's another thing when you hear someone say it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's super exciting. And just on regards of Mintis Live, I think that is where I've seen a lot the in-person interactions, being able to come to these events. Really, after Mountain DAO, it sparked my interest, and I realized how valuable it was. Going back to some of the other things we touched on, I know there's a massive tentative schedule for where Mintis plans to be and these events. I know there's for sure something coming up this week that I unfortunately won't make, but it'd be great to hear about what people can expect for something coming up here at South by, but then also what you guys are looking forward to in the future.
Yes, of course. So this Saturday, March 19th, we are having our happy hour here at the Social Hacker House on the grounds from 3 to 7. So anybody who's in Austin are more than welcome to come and join us, especially at Behold and Mintis NFT. We are actually going to do a live mint right before that for anybody who missed their mint last week. And we do have an event coming up in LA at the end of the month. It's going to be on March 31st. We're going to be on the beach with the California sunshine. So I know you'll be in LA, so yes. I think that'll be fun. Definitely follow us on Twitter to get a little bit more information on that. And after that, we have Miami. We are actually working with Dean from Grape on building out our mixer that's going to be in Greece, which I'm really excited about. And looking forward to actually being in Thailand in August to hang out with Melty and the Jamble Mamble team. So I think the whole idea with us doing these mixers and events are we want to be coincided with all these live hacker houses that we're all going to anyways, right? These conferences where we're trying to learn, we're trying to get more information and meet people that we've been talking to. So why not have fun with it, right? Why not build a little bit of brunch event or a mixer event to do this? And then going out to Greece to meet with the Grape team and really just kind of seeing everything they've been building has been absolutely amazing. We did a space with them the other day and it was so much fun talking to them, just hearing how far along they've come from a verification project to what it is they're building now with the open source coding stuff. And of course, Jamble Mamble, always a huge fan of theirs. They did staking yesterday, finally went live. So that was actually really fun to kind of do that last night too. So I can't wait to meet the team in Thailand.
Yeah, that's super exciting. It's awesome to see how Mintis is able to really, as I was saying in the beginning, bridge Web3 and then real life and social aspects and really look to tailor a community. I think what the team has done at Mintis, what you guys have done, has been amazing in the sense of how you took a different approach of NFTs, no secondary sales. It would be great to just get some insight on what the thoughts are behind that, how users, I know you leaked it a little bit, but how can people get involved moving forward? And just really the point of the NFT and the verification aspects of it.
Yeah. I think when it comes to myself coming into the ecosystem at first, it was explained to me how NFTs are investments, right? You buy something and hoping it will go 2x, 3x, 100x. So then you can essentially sell it on secondary and make that money, which is great. I think for what Mintos is building with the community and how we're looking at the big picture, I really want it to be long term. When you're thinking about buying, minting, selling, moving on, buying, minting, selling, moving on, and focusing on the floor price, I think it kind of takes away a little bit from building the community aspect. You know, we want to
Yeah.
think long term. We really want people to come and verify with us and tell them about tell us about who they are and go through the verification system. And then for everybody else to know that everybody else within our community has done the same exact thing. Not only we have verified with them the best we can, either online or in person, then once we get to the mixer and be like, hey, you're someone I just talked to and I got to know who you are. Like the other day, we had a group verification in our Discord. And it was just so cool for everyone to be like, tell their story about how they got into Web3. And then one of the women were like, oh, yeah, I work for Chainlink and, this is my story. And literally another member of ours was like, oh my gosh, I'm such a Chainlink maxi. Like, I'm such a huge fan. It's so cool to meet you and like talk to you. It's little moments like that that gets me really excited about what we're building and how genuine people are to really want to put themselves out there to make that connection. So I think the secondary aspect where you're really focusing on the floor price or you're thinking about flipping, it just kind of takes away from that,
Yeah.
Not saying there's anything wrong with, flipping projects and whatnot, but I think for what we're doing here with building these real genuine connections, this is the direction we're heading with our project.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And something that piqued my interest when I saw that, we were talking about a little bit because I asked you and I was like, what was the point of this? And you pretty much elaborated the same thing, but looping that back, the idea of really making a community and facilitating worthwhile connections, something that I instantly thought of when I was at Mountain Dow is, okay, I've met all these great people. Some people I've only got to talk to for an hour, maybe even 5 hours. I would not think of that as a lot of time of really getting to know someone. Like it's a decent amount. Some people even less. So one of the biggest things I was trying to wrap my head around is how do I keep these connections and make them something meaningful, like build off of it in the future. And Mintus looks to facilitate that, where you guys do have these group verifications. And it's like, okay, we met at the Mintus Mixer. We're all in the Discord. We're active there. I also just want to point out the fun little verification process. I haven't jumped into a server for one, but just even the icons of what you're interested in and all of that. You were mentioning the event in LA and being on the beaches there. That's where I grew up. So it'd be amazing to actually go and get to surf there. I'm currently landlocked, so I don't get to do that. And then heading over to something like Hacker House in Athens that is still getting set up, but I'm half Greek as well. So wanting to get into all of these events, it's just great how it facilitates the community and connections on a deeper level that maybe something as surface level as Twitter can't do very well. And then I think it even continues and makes sure that connections are sustainable outside of these events. I think it's very easy to meet people and then they maybe just fall off the radar. So Mintus almost seems like a great way to bridge that.
Yeah, and I have to say this, I think for myself going to the Hacker House events or even sometimes go in these spaces, there's just so much noise and so much distraction, and you don't necessarily always give everyone the attention you want to give them.
Yeah.
So how do we fix that? Let's find a little balance in our life. We go to these hacker houses and conferences to learn, to work, but now there's going to be a Mintus event at 4 o'clock you can get to where you can really just close your laptop and grab a drink and maybe grab some snacks and really just kind of talk to the people at the event and just kind of give yourself a break from Web3 for a little bit by being the presence. But at the same time, you're able to talk to people about the projects you're involved in and for them to understand, what you're saying to them and what you're going through.
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. It was what I touched on in the beginning where my mind is still in, I'm taking a break. Very apparently, it's not draining or stressful, but my mind is still engaged. I feel like it's much easier to stay in the flow of crypto when it's around those people. Even when you do get into their moments, inherently, you're always going to stumble over Web3 conversations and topics. But if you make it a break time, it very much is, while still keeping you engaged. So that's just something anecdotally where people maybe might be confused, where it's how do I take a break if I'm still talking crypto and Web3? But I've experienced it for myself. So I think that's something interesting. And really just moving forward, I think there's obviously more exciting things coming with Mintis too. So we talked about those 3 different verticals. You guys are also posturing towards charitable things as well, using a portion of funds for that. So it'd be great to hear about the thoughts behind that, what Mintis is interested in donating towards the cause and all of that.
Yeah, when we first kind of set up this whole thing, we talk about community and how important it is. So, what does community mean? It's more than just the people that's within the project and that are involved in. We want to give back to, because I think for us to all get back together, it also builds like another layer of this bond and connection we have. So let's talk about it. What charities are you into? What what projects or what other real life charity events have you been to? What organization have you been part of? So we were starting off with Kiva, which is something that I'm definitely absolutely bullish about. It's something that's been in my life before I even got into Web3. And this is something that we have had an open conversation with the people and our members about what Kiva is. And they're a phenomenal organization. If you guys don't know anything about Kiva, please check them out, kiva.org. They facilitate these loans for women and minorities around the world where it might be a little bit hard for them to get liquidity for the things that they actually need. So you go in and you read their stories about what they need the money for, and then you get to kind of pick and choose to see who you like to help. But not only that, they have a payback model loan where you help someone. And right now, within my own personal account, I think the repay percentage was I think something like 98%. So these people actually pay you back the loan that you give them. And then you take that donation that you essentially gave to Kiva and you get to essentially find someone else to help out. So this is definitely one of the organizations that I've always been really big on. So that's who we're starting with. And obviously part of the giving back to the community is, the Mint funds going back to also all these fun events that we're creating too as well. So it's really about not only how we can contribute, how we can give back, but let's do it together.
Yeah, I think that's really amazing and paints an awesome picture for the entire Mintis ecosystem. There's lots of different things for people, even if you are still looking to just have a more concentrated, less noisy group to talk to on Discord, or you're really interested in going to live events, or you are looking for a Web3 partner in the space. I think it's amazing, which kind of takes me a little bit into the next topic here. And I think something that Mintis is trying to do isn't necessarily easy by any means, but you guys have gotten off to a great start in something with combining like tech and finance. We've seen so many males in the space. How do you guys at Mintis look to balance this, and how has the progress been so far?
Um, it's been going so well that I'm just like, wait, what's the percentage right now? I think it's really interesting because we literally just looked today, and the percentage right now that the members are verified right now, it's 2-1, and that's 2 women for 1 man. And it's shocking. And if you think about it, I've heard this so many times where the men are saying there are absolutely no women on Web3 or crypto, and it's just simply not true. I think there are women out there that are building and contributing, and I think I'm definitely one of the few that took me a while to kind of break out of my shell a little bit. But once I doxed myself and actually wrote that thread on Twitter, I actually had a lot of women that reached out to me and DM me and just said, I see what you're doing. I absolutely support you. Like, how can I get involved? Which makes me so happy, to a point where right now, like I said, we actually have more women than men within our Discord. And I think the men are generally very happy about that. And the women are happy about it too, because I think for once they feel like they have a space where there's a platform that supports them all. And I'm definitely always open to any ideas they have too as well. And there's still a lot of women out there that are not within our Mintis Discord that we haven't really spoken to yet as well. So I definitely invite anyone who's listening right now to come and join us. We are building, I like this ratio right now, so we'll kind of see where it goes. But I think for us within our community and this like little bubble that we built for ourselves, I think there's definitely room to grow, and there's a lot more to do with that.
Yeah. And it seems like Mintis is very thoughtful on how moving forward and keeping the space how it is, having a platform where women can come to Web3 and actually encourage things like you're saying, like being able to break out of the shell, I think is incredibly important, especially because I mean, I've seen multiple anecdotal things where there are some difficulties with women coming out in Web3, where it's very much a space where we are looking for a ton more of perspective and so much talent that maybe necessarily wasn't seen even in like previous industries like tech and finance that we want to break out of. So it's awesome seeing Mintis do that. And I think something that notable is it isn't easy with having something like the internet and pseudo anonymous things. Like there's always going to be weirdos and creeps, unfortunately. Like, I don't know, it just is what it is. But being able to be cognizant about that, tailor something around it, I think is really amazing. And yeah, just really build a community around it. So just wanted to point that out. I mean, we touched on a lot of different verticals of Mintis. I think it's really starting to pick up. There's a lot of people active. It also, the team seems pretty exciting, people that are getting around it, people that are involved in it. I'm curious, Mac, just starting to close things up, what are some of the biggest things that you're excited for moving forward, and things that you look forward that maybe Mintis can start to change or better within the ecosystem?
I'm excited for all the live events that we are definitely going to have. And I'm actually really excited about, like, we were just talking about the percentage of women to men within the Mintis Discord right now. So if it's anything like this in the live events, it's just me hanging out with like all the awesome women within Web3 that have
Yeah.
been building and contributing. Something that we can do better, I feel like as a woman, we have a duty right now, as we're early enough, where we can really kind of start building out the platform and really mold and shape how we view diversity within this ecosystem. And my biggest hope would be that maybe we can build something to a point where it will start making certain changes that will affect real life and what that looks like. I was talking to Kat de Garçon, who is part of the Pulsei Panthers, and she is a huge advocate for this. You know, I went from like a 15-30 minute verification call with her to all of a sudden we're talking for an hour and a half, and we're like, oh my gosh, we could probably still talk for 3 more hours, but both of us have things to do. But we talk about how if we build the Web3 right, and we set up the certain type of framework that we are looking for and we want to do, it might have a positive change and effect on maybe real life, because we want to talk about mass adoption. It's coming. And if we get things going and rolling and set up a type of framework that we're hoping to do, maybe it will be an example for the future later down the road.
Yeah, I think that's massive. And there is so much still to build in crypto and Web3. So setting out standards and really just creating a community where people can feel safe. And this goes both ways. I mean, I've interviewed someone at Mountain DAO and they came in and they're like, well, that's crazy. Like you dox yourself. You're not concerned about your security. And there's multiple sides of this, like being able to really be yourself. Like you have this pseudo anonymous profile, and yes, you could very much be yourself, but there is a certain need for people that probably want to be able to meet people in real life. So having to have a community where they can feel safe and really, while it is early, be able to set out things and yeah, look to attack a bigger problem of like catfishing, creeps on the internet, and people not feeling safe being able to go to IRL events, I think are all things that Mintis is looking at tackling and has the right foot forward and is really looking to pick up steam on all of that. So I think that wraps it up for me. I just want to thank you for coming on. People can check out Mintis on Twitter if they're interested. Also start venturing into the Discord if they pick up an NFT. It sounds like the second drop will be coming up on Saturday.
Friday. We're going to do a live mint right before our live mixer event. So if you're here in Austin, you can definitely mint live with us. If you're thinking about coming to LA or even starting to think about bringing your bathing suits out to Greece with us, you know, you can definitely follow us on Twitter, and we will definitely drop the live mint link on Twitter on Friday.
Awesome. Amazing having you on, MacD, and looking forward to what comes out of the future of Mintis.
Thank you, Greg.